In this tutorial, I'll explain some of the insert effects in Caustic 3. My demo setup is a quick 2-machine pattern loop, and let's have a listen to that. Okay, so that's what we'll be working with. Let's start right away and add an insert effect on the beatbox here. So I'll tap inside the square and select the first one on the list, so Distortion. The distortion effect obviously distorts the signal coming in, and how it does so depends on the program that's selected. So there's 4 different programs you can choose from, and each one distorts slightly differently. Pre is a pre-amplification gain going onto the signal before it hits the distortion effect. And so a lot of these algorithms rely on sort of a threshold value, and any signal going above the threshold will have the distortion algorithm applied to it. So pre pushes a lot more of the signal into the distortion range, and amount will control sort of the threshold level, so how much of the signal will get distorted going in, and post is a correction volume for readjusting after you've gone through these 2 stages. So let's just have a listen to what we can do on the beatbox. So you notice you can toggle a preview or bypass for these effects. If you just tap on the title of the effect, the little LED goes off, and that means the effect is off and bypassed. So it's good for A/B testing if you want to hear the effect or your effect onto the signal. Next up is the BitCrusher. And so this sort of distorts the sound too, but it does so more in a way that replicates either lower bit rate or lower sample rate. So if you've got the bit depth set to 100% and the rate set to 100%, there pretty much won't be much change on your signal. Now, if I lower the bit depth, you can hear it's going from the 16-bit input down to 1-bit output. And the rate changes the sampling rate, so you get more of a lo-fi effect. Jitter applies randomness to the rate. And wet controls how much of the bit crush signal gets through. So if the wet is set to 0, it's the dry signal coming in, and if it's full on, then you get fully bit crush signal.